hand was on the wall, and I was like, I don't know why I'm crying. I just. That was the first time I ever experienced, you know, my crazy hormones, I guess I would call it. My darling, I love you, 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 I love you. What's up guys, it's your girl alykrys and I'm back with another video. So today we're here to talk about a really interesting topic, and to be really honest with you guys, I tried filming this video 4 times, and every time I filmed it I like watched the video and I was like, ugh. This topic's really difficult because, you know, the truth behind motherhood is a very loaded topic. So hopefully this one makes it to the internet, but basically I'm gonna do my best to put into words what it's really like to be a mom. So guys, before we get started, don't forget to follow me on my socials and hit the subscribe button and like this video. Why is this hair? I am still in my bathrobe because I'm really comfortable and I don't feel like changing yet, so whatever. Let's start with pregnancy. So when I was pregnant, everyone told me like, oh, you're gonna love this. You are gonna be so excited to like get the pregnancy glow, to dress the bump, yada yada. Honestly, I hated dressing. I did not like dressing the bump. Was like dreadful to me. I hated it. I didn't like the feeling of being pregnant. I didn't really care for the way it looked. Like, I did have a really easy pregnancy and I loved the feeling of him moving in my belly, and to me that was really special and really beautiful. But aside from that, like, I didn't care for it. As soon as this baby comes out of you, you know, you have your nurses, your doctors already telling you like, okay, skin to skin, this is how you hold your baby, this is what you do, you know, this is how you get him latched. Immediately you start getting like slapped in the face with all these facts, like, and because there is so much information nowadays from healthcare professionals, online, friends, family, whatever, you have like an overload of just information in your brain, and you're just trying to figure out like what the best thing is for your family. You're just overwhelmed with information, and then boom, like your motherly instincts kick in and you suddenly have like all this love and protectiveness for your baby. And for me personally, I just got really overprotective from like the minute he came out of me. I was like, okay, like, how is this person handling him? How's this nurse bathing him? You know, did you wash your hands before touching him? You know, you all suddenly get a little OCD and a little crazy and like very particular on how your baby is handled, and you just want to make sure everything's done the right way. And I got a lot of drugs during birth, so because of that my body was trying to recover from just like the drug overload. You know that feeling you get when you start like coming down on drugs? Like, for example, medicinal marijuana, it's legal. Once it kind of wears off, you get this feeling of like blah. You get kind of tired, kind of exhausted, you just feel a little out of it. That's how I felt, but like times 10, because I got so many drugs. I had a vaginal birth, so just from the delivery itself, it was really painful down there. I got 5 mini stitches. The nurses said they were like a couple millimeters each. So every time I coughed, every time I sneezed, every time I stood up, I felt like my stitches were coming out. Everything from my ribs down was so sore and in so much pain. I was learning how to stand and walk again. I remember vividly just walking from my bed to the bathroom, which is, by the way, like 5 steps. I remember getting up, I had to go pee. So I was walking to the bathroom, and halfway there, my hand was on the wall, and I was like, and my mom, because she flew in at the time to help out, she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, dude, I'm so tired and exhausted from just walking. So it's crazy because just taking 3 steps was so hard on my body. So not only was I going through that, but I also had to take care of my newborn and learn how to be a mom. You know, your body changes after birth. You know, the skin around your stomach, it like, you know, it gets looser and like it's almost like elasticy, and you know, you suddenly like, you still look pregnant but you're not pregnant, and now you have this like lump of what feels like just fat dangling from your stomach. I didn't feel attractive. I didn't feel sexy because now I have to walk around in adult diapers because I bled for a month after I gave birth. So your self-esteem kind of goes down a little bit, and you just don't feel sexy, you don't feel hot, you feel like a hot mess, you know, just so like, oh. All right, now this is a touchy subject. This was a subject that was hard for me to talk about, not because I didn't want to share it, but it's complicated because as a woman and as a mom, we have different emotions and feelings and a different bond with their child than the dad does. So I feel like guys don't really get it because they don't go through the dynamics of carrying a child and birthing a child and, you know, breastfeeding and all that stuff. So their bond is different. So they don't really feel the same things we do. And I feel like this is one of those things where I can't really explain everything. I can't really explain every feeling because there are no words. You kind of just have to go through it to know what I mean. For me, one of the biggest things that added to my emotions were my hormones. After I gave birth, my hormones were like up, down, like it was wild. And I couldn't control it. I couldn't control my emotions. I couldn't control the way I felt. There were just moments where I'd be angry, moments where I'd be sad, moments where I'd be just so happy. And it was crazy. And I remember sitting there like, why do I feel like this? Like, and I couldn't control it. And there was never a reason as to why I felt the way I did. I just kind of felt it. So that was a really, really unique experience. I remember vividly, this is day 2 after I gave birth. I was sitting on my hospital bed and Malcolm was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go home now. I'm gonna go, you know, feed the dogs, make sure they're okay, maybe take them for a quick walk. And I was like, okay, great. I hope they're okay. And as soon as he walked out, I just remember sitting there, closing my eyes, and suddenly the waterworks started happening. I was like, I'm so sad. I feel so bad. I feel like such a shitty mom. I can't be there for my dogs, you know, because I'm the type of mom where I take them to dog parks. I take them out every day. You know, they get Starbucks puppuccinos. I dress them up for photo shoots. They go to doggy daycares. I'm a crazy dog person. So for me, I was like, I feel so bad. Their life has changed. They're probably miserable. They probably miss me. They're so confused. And I just started bawling because I felt so bad for my dogs. And I took a step back and I was like, why am I crying? You know, I'm not emotional, I'm not a sensitive person, and I actually hate, like, I don't like to cry in front of people. So the fact that I was just bawling, just like on my hospital bed with like nurses walking by, I was in shock. And that was the first time I ever experienced, you know, my crazy hormones, I guess I would call it. And I couldn't control the tears. They were just coming out of my eyes. I couldn't even stop. I couldn't even hold back. And I remember there's this other moment where, you know, I had another mental breakdown, and it was really over nothing once again. This was day 3 of me being home, and I was the one taking care of Emery that day. And I just remember, you know, being a mom and doing it all by yourself, you're trying to figure out and balance so many things on top of sleep deprivation that it is overwhelming. So I remember Malcolm came home and he's like, oh, like, you know, did you get the chance to feed the dogs? He was very innocent about it all. And I looked at him and I was like, you are asking me if I fed the dogs after everything I've done today, after everything I've been trying to do, after, you know, just all the sleep deprivation, you're gonna ask me if I fed the dogs? And I just walked into my room, closed the door, and I started bawling. And he came in and he was like, why are you crying? And I was like, I don't know why I'm crying. So, you know, after the waterworks were gone, I sat there and I got some time to think, and I was bawling because of the sleep deprivation. It's real. It really catches up to you when you're tired. You can't think, you know, you can't think properly. You don't know how to communicate. You know, on top of that, my hormones were all over the place. So it was sleep deprivation and hormones. And I was crying over that more so than the question he asked. And for me, I felt like it was just the cherry on top, because with everything I was trying to balance within my life that day, him just asking me if I did this one extra thing was just, to me, a stupid question. I didn't even have time to like brush my teeth or shower sometimes. I was trying to figure out how to even do that, how to even do normal things to keep up with my hygiene and self-care. So asking me if I fed the dogs was like a bizarre question. Like, why would you ask me that? And you know, another thing that really takes a toll on, I feel like, just moms emotionally is the me time. Once your baby comes out, you lose every ounce of yourself. You are now fully dedicated to this little adorable human being, and there is no such thing as me time anymore. You know, all the things I used to love doing, I was no longer able to do. So one thing that I always did to kind of de-stress myself was I'd go on dog walk. When I had moments where I just needed to take a break, or I just needed to like go for a walk and like de-stress, I wasn't able to do that. Eventually, as time passes, you start developing this a new type of me time. You now have me time, but it's with your little baby. You start getting your nails done, you start getting your hair done, you start taking the dogs out all with your baby, and it's great. You know, you start to love it, and you start to, it just becomes your new norm. After I gave birth, I became this super protective OCD mama that I never thought I would be, because I'm not that kind of person. I'm really laid back and really mellow. I'm the type of mom where, you know, I have my own parenting style. I like things done a certain way, and I just know how I want to raise my kid and how I want to handle him. So even, you know, let's just say the nurses, no one ever did anything wrong, and everyone was just always trying to help, which was amazing. But I had like the first time mom syndrome. The little things like how someone's handling him, or how someone's rocking him, or how someone's putting him down for bed, or how someone's swaddling him. Everything kind of drove me nuts if it wasn't me doing it, because obviously people aren't going to do things your way. So when things almost like weren't done my way, or I wasn't the one doing it, I got like anxious, and like I got really like, oh, okay, like, yeah, all right, I just gotta breathe. Like, I wish it would, you know, I don't want him rocked that way, or it was weird, you know? Then I was always like, no, but babe, you gotta do it this way, or babe, you're not changing his diaper properly, or babe, you gotta make sure you feed him like this. And yeah, like I became this mom who just wanted to control everything. And as time passed, that feeling kind of went away, and I became like my laid back self again. I became totally cool with like people carrying him, you know, taking him here, taking him there. You start loosening up. But I just remember like the first couple months of me being a mom, I was that like crazy OCD mom. First time mom syndrome. Once you have a baby, you know, you are now the most selfless person ever. The only thing that matters is your kid. You have to have a completely new routine, a new schedule. I felt like I had like an out-of-body experience for a full week after I gave birth. Having to juggle like housework, like laundry, cooking, dishes, just cleaning in general, on top of like self-care, my hygiene, on top of trying to raise and take care of this newborn, on top of like trying to walk the dogs and take care of them as well. All of that had to be done differently to accommodate my baby. So trying to do all that at the same time, it was a huge learning curve, and it was a major change that obviously took a toll on me like it would to any other mom. But you know, it takes time to figure it out. And obviously as time passed, you know, I developed my own new routine, a new schedule, and everything starts falling into place. But I just remember the first month was hard. The first week was the hardest for me. I was really exhausted. I was very sleep deprived. But I remember after week 1 is when I started feeling a little more human again. I didn't feel like a zombie. I started taking the dogs out for a walk again. I started doing things like going to Starbucks, turning on the music in my car, singing to music. Little things like that made me so happy, and those were the things that made me feel like a human being, because I felt like a dead person for about a week after I gave birth. Week 2 is when I started to feel like myself again. I started feeling like Allison. I started feeling like just a regular person with a normal life. Becoming a mom started to feel natural to me, and I started to really pick up and excel at being a mom. I would say at the end of month 1 is when I started to feel completely like myself. That's when, you know, I was able to do my makeup, cooking for myself, and just doing all the things I normally would have before I had a baby. When I was 1.5 months in, that's when I really started loving and enjoying being a mom. We kind of went through like a relationship transition. We had to learn how to co-parent, we had to learn how to communicate, and we had to learn how to keep each other happy while we're doing all this. You know, we're juggling a million things, and you know, with sleep deprivation and just the stress of being first-time parents, communication's really tough because when you're tired, it's really hard to communicate properly. I'm Chinese and Malcolm is Trinidadian and Jamaican, so we come from completely different cultures. We were raised completely differently, so we had completely different parenting styles. So just learning how to mesh our two parenting styles together was one thing. You know, it took us, you know, there's a little bit of trial and error. You know, I wanted things done a certain way. He felt like maybe, you know, it wasn't necessary. But eventually over time, you know, we did learn how to mesh our parenting styles. And, you know, you learn how to compromise and how to communicate what we both want. I started feeling all these new emotions that I never felt before. And I almost didn't know how to express it because I was still learning about myself as a new mom. I was still trying to figure things out, and because, you know, I was still in the process of learning, I didn't know how to like explain to someone what I needed yet. I learned how to tell him like what my needs were. I have a lot more needs than before. We kind of expect our significant other to just know what we need. One thing I've learned is men are really different. They're a completely different creature. They think differently, and as good of a boyfriend or husband you have, they can't read your mind. Relationships, do you go through the highs and lows after kids? And it's normal. We've learned to grow, change, and adapt together. I've had such beautiful and enjoyable moments with Emery. I would definitely do it all over again. I definitely want more kids. I love being a mom. I've had so many moments where, you know, I almost want to relive it again because it was so enjoyable. And, you know, children grow so damn fast. I feel like, oh, I just want to press pause sometimes. So motherhood is crazy, wild, beautiful, exhausting. It's all these things intertwined into like one. Anyways, guys, I'm rambling now. Thank you so much for watching, and comment below, let me know what you guys want to see next, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Mwah, mwah, mwah.